rank the Michigan football roster for 2022.
Okay.
Um, I will let you pick first on this one as well.
Okay. Um, there's a little bit less. I think I don't know. There can be some debate on this a little bit, but I'm going to go with who was our number one last year as well. I will go with Blake Corum. I think if we were to re-rank it at the end of the year last year,
Aiden moves to
I
first, but
think Aiden would be first, obviously, and I think Corum might even be like fourth or fifth by the end of last year, um,
yeah,
because he also got banged up and played less. I think I would move Hassan Haskins ahead of him, and um, yeah, I think maybe Corum would have been fourth or fifth, but we will go with Blake Corum number one here. I think he's dark horse Heisman candidate if everything goes well. So
would not surprise me in the least.
no,
All right, let's see what I got. So, well, then I think from there, there's a few guys that I think it kind of opens up the field a little bit after this,
yep.
but I really am, and I'm just screaming for a rebound year for Ronnie Bell.
Okay,
And I think I want to take Ronnie Bell here too.
all right. I wouldn't put him that high, but I would put him probably in top 10.
You know what? No, yeah, I do want to change that. There's better. Hmm.
I'd put
You're
him in the
right.
top 10.
Oh yeah,
I
he's in
don't
the
know. It's
top
hard to
10. I
rank
don't
this
like that. I
because
don't like that move. I was last year we had him in number 4, and I think I was
yep.
initially looking off at that one. I think that there's a man. I don't actually. No, I think I gotta go offensive line here, dude. That offensive line is still coming back better than ever. And I think I'm between Zinter and Hayes. I think I like Ryan Hayes just because he's a tackle. I think that's more important that he's good. So I'm gonna go Ryan Hayes here. Hopefully that's not worse to you than Ronnie Bell, but I think Ryan Hayes is really good.
I mean, Hayes would probably be in my top 10 still too.
Okay.
I'm gonna go offensive line as well, but I'm gonna go Oluwatimi
Okay.
here. I think he's gonna be the best center in the country. He was the Remington Award finalist last year. Now he's on a better team. Um, impact transfer. He's gonna be a beast.
Yeah.
Not at all worried about this offensive line, barring I was they just can't have two people get hurt. They can have one person get hurt. They're deep
Mhm.
enough, but two people get hurt, that would kind of suck. I think they're deep. I think they've got a lot of guys that I feel really good about, but I feel like best offensive line in the country, good about six of them. So
Yeah. And I think we're gonna just prove this offensive line is really good. I think Zach Zinter is the next one I'm taking here. And I think I've seen a lot of preseason All Americans. He's a projected preseason Big Ten first team.
I think he could be an All-American. Like
Well, Big Ten for sure. First team.
he played most of the season last year with one arm, basically, because he was in a cast, and he was mostly killing everybody. And he even like was positively graded against Georgia's defensive line. So, and he was one of the few that could do that. So I would say, yeah, I'm cool with Zinter there. He could be really, really, really good. Um, I will take here. This will be tough. I don't know. I'm gonna take Eric All here. I think he just from ability and just overall size and just skill level could be the best tight end in the country. It's just whether how they use him, whether he can stay healthy because he did get a little bit banged up last year. That game we went to, he didn't even play. But they got a pretty good backup tight end too. So yeah, I feel pretty good about Eric Hall. I think he'll be really good.
Yeah, and this is where I'm going to take Ronnie Bell.
Okay, it's fair.
It's not bad here at 6. I think he's projected to be third team All Big Ten. in the preseason. I mean, this is all based at least on Lindy Sports. I got the magazine.
Nice.
So been reading a lot of it.
All right, I like Ronnie Bell there. I mean, a little bit projecting, hoping he comes back from the injury, but I would put him in the top 10 if he, by all accounts, he's back. So, I'm gonna go here. What number are we on?
Be 7.
I'm gonna go Mozzie Smith here.
Yep, he's projected first team.
Yep. Probably still underrated though. I know I'm putting him 7 here, but just from a national standpoint, underrated. But I think he's due for a huge season. Bruce Feldman had him as his number 1 freak in college football this year. So that's cool. So I'm gonna put him there at number 7.
Yeah, he's big. I'm gonna go with Junior Colson.
Okay.
Here next, and I'm really excited to see him lead that linebacker group. Obviously, Josh Ross kind of led it for so many years, and I think Junior Colson has the ability to be better than Josh Ross was. So,
Junior Colson,
and perhaps I think last year he was probably already as good as Josh Ross. So I expect big steps from him.
Junior Colson was athletic enough to still be pretty good at linebacker and not know what he was doing last year. So now he knows what he's doing. I mean, sky's the limit.
Yes.
So I feel pretty good about that. I am going to go with DJ Turner here.
Hey.
By some accounts, Jamon Green has been like neck and neck with him as far as how good they've been playing in camp, which is, I think that's a good thing. But DJ Turner really took a huge step last year by once they got through the non-conference season. I mean, he was the one corner by far. So I'm going to put DJ Turner here. Really athletic, just pretty much everything you're looking for in a corner from speed standpoint too. So I'm going to put him there until Jamon Green can pass him. And if Jamon Green does pass him, that's a good thing for Michigan.
I am going to take Mike Morris here next.
Yeah.
As an interior defensive lineman. I think he's going to be, I mean, he's got to be a wrecking ball. He's got to step up next to Mozzie Smith. I mean, he's going to have some opportunities because obviously we have Mozzie Smith up there. We expect some big things from that front. And Mike Morris is like a big, long defensive end that you kind of want. Yeah, the Rashawn Gary defensive end.
Yeah, he can move in and out. They moved him around a lot last year when he played. Obviously, you had Ojabo and Hutchinson that you just went out there most of the time, but Mike Morris made some big plays last year. All right, I'm gonna probably go back offensive line here, and I will take I'll take Trevor Keegan here. Trevor Keegan is, I mean, he's big, so he initially he's 6'6", so they're initially projecting him as an offensive tackle, but he's slotted in at guard. I think he is just only going to get better. Last year, he kind of split some time at times with Chuck Viliaga, but Keegan was the better player, and he kind of solidified that late in the season when he was healthy. I think he'll be good to go this year, and it's he's going to really. They got 3 maulers on the interior of the defensive line or offensive line, so I'm expecting big things from him.
Yeah, this is the best offensive line I think they've had in a long time. I think some people rank them as the number 1 offensive line in the country.
Yeah, they won the award for the number 1 offensive line in the country last year, and they're probably going to be.
I think getting Olusegun is huge. So, all right. Well, I don't feel bad about this. I'm taking Donovan Edwards here at 12.
Okay. I think I'm higher on Donovan Edwards than a lot of people. I would.
Are people down on Donovan Edwards?
I don't think they're down on him, but they just say, "Oh, he's the backup running back." Right?
He's gonna have a huge role this year. They might do double running back and have him play receive.
He might be their best receiver. I mean, let's be honest. Like I think Donovan Edwards. I mean, we'll see how they use him. Right?
I think there's going to be a lot of motions out of the backfield for him to go out in a slot or something and make something happen. Or there's going to be a lot of flat routes. I expect to see a lot of Donovan Edwards, despite him being the backup running back.
Yep.
This year.
Yep. I can agree with that. What number are we on?
This will be 13.
All right, I gotta go Cade McNamara here.
Yep.
I guess question mark whether he is the guy still, but I think he will be the guy taking the first snaps. People got to remember that he can still get better too. People kind of put him as like, oh, he's reached his ceiling. He is what he is. But like last year was his first year as a starter, first real year as a starter. started at the end of the COVID year, but that didn't really count. I think he's going to get better. I'm not saying I don't want JJ McCarthy to overtake him. I in the end, yeah, maybe I do, right? But I think Cade McNamara is going to be really good, and I think as of right now, until proven otherwise, he's the guy to run the team. So,
yeah, I think that's a good spot. Yeah, I mean, I think in this Lindy magazine, he was voted as coolest in the clutch.
yeah.
So may not mean like he's a superstar quarterback, but he stays calm and he just knows what the mission is and sticks to it.
He doesn't turn the ball over. He makes good decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And really the next step for him is like, okay, not necessarily forcing the ball, but seeing the opportunity for more big plays. If he can do that, because there were more opportunities last year that
if he hits the big plays, JJ is not getting that job.
No, not at all. No,
I mean, but I think he's gonna be on a relatively short leash, but I don't expect him to necessarily lose that leash. He's just too consistent.
He's also the leader on that team, so it's kind of hard to yank the guy who brought you to the playoff as your starting quarterback unless he plays himself out of the job, or JJ's just that much better.
I mean, honestly, I just want Cade to be really good this year, but I want JJ to stick it out because Jin and JJ can play for 2 more years for us. Yeah, that'd be great. There's talks to do my transfer. That's why they dance around.
No, he's fine. He'll stick it out. He'll be fine.
All right.
Well, he talks about the transfer thing.
I was gonna say
he even came out and said, "I'm never leaving."
Well, thank you for appeasing my conscience.
He'll be fine. They'll both play a lot this year. I'm not worried about it. They're both going to play a lot.
All right. Well, next I'm going to take Jamon Green. Obviously, you just alluded to it. He seems to be improving. Despite, I mean, a lot of people were pretty high on him going into next year. He kind of had some ruffles in the season, but there's a lot of talk of him, doing really well right now in camp and in drills and stuff. So just expect that to continue, and hopefully that DJ Turner, Jamon Green duo corner is effective.
Well, yeah, the problem is last year, 2 people forget he got hurt. So then Vincent Gray was the other corner.
And Vincent Gray has an NFL job with the Saints right now.
So. He does. Vincent Gray is NFL size because he's 6'4". So that's why. But Jamon Green had a great season 2 years ago, right? He was easily the best corner. So I think if you just get to a point where he's consistent, he doesn't need to be the number 1 corner. DJ Turner can take that over. I think we'll be fine. What number? 15?
This will be 15, yep.
Man. I'll take Cornelius Johnson here.
He went 14 last year. So
kind of the underrated guy that's just not talked about in the wide receiver room, but he just gets the job done. He was their leading receiver last year. They didn't throw the ball that much last year. Didn't have to. But he was their leading receiver last year. I really wouldn't be that surprised if he's the leading receiver this year. He was open all the time last year and just never got the ball to him. He's not the flashy guy, but he does have breakaway speed. When they used him, he could certainly run. He was burning Ohio State DBs late in the year pretty easily. So he's not the flashy guy like the Roman Wilson speed or the Andrell Anthony crazy catches or AJ Henning, like the flashy guys like that. But he just gets the job done, and he's a veteran. So I think he's going to be there. He's going to be productive, especially because, they're going to have to – you would think they're going to have to throw the ball a little bit more this year. Not saying that I want them to necessarily lean on the throwing game, but, they're going to throw the ball more. They got too many weapons not to. So I would expect Johnson to get his yards.
Man, as tempting as it is to go with Jake Moody because he's probably winning the Groza again, I'm going to take R.J. Moten.
Yeah.
R.J. Moten.
Can't put a kicker that high. I'm sorry. I just can't put him
even if he's that good. He's that good. But, you can't put him yet. R.J. Moten went 12 last year, actually. But, this team is, I think, even better than last year, at least more top-heavy with just the skill at the offensive line position. So I like getting R.J. Moten here at 16. I think he's going to be, a huge piece of that secondary as he kind of also helps try to, continue to groom Rod Moore's progression there at safety as well. So,
yep. Yeah, RJ's he's the older guy and we're the strong safety guy. I think Broadmoor was hurt a lot. Didn't even play in the spring, so we'll see how that goes.
Ron Moore impressed me though as a young player. I mean,
Broadmoor was awesome last year, and I'm ready. He's the guy. I'm gonna take Luke Schoonmaker here as the other tight end. Obviously, I think Eric Hall is more physically gifted, but Luke Schoonmaker is 6'6", former high school quarterback that they converted to a tight end and really started to figure it out late in the year last year. He's a good blocker and is a good receiver. I think he can be a safety blanket too for some of those or safety net for some of those for the QBs. He always kind of has been. We saw him catch 2 touchdowns in a game against Indiana. So he's got the ability. We'll just see how much it's used. I don't know how much they're going to be in 2 tight end sets this year with all the receivers and the running backs that are good, but he'll play quite a bit. So,
yeah, that was a good pick. All right, I'm gonna take Andrew Anthony here.
okay.
I think we talked about just all the weapons. Anthony stepped up big as a freshman last year. I'm trying to remember. I gotta see where we ranked Andrew Anthony last year.
We probably didn't.
We did actually 45th. He snuck in there. So, but I mean, it's funny because this spot is also where I ranked Aiden Hutchinson back in 2019. So,
yeah.
Funny, 2019 was Hutchinson. I took Stuber in 2020 here, and Christopher Hinton last year is where we took.
Yep.
So Andrew Anthony's going to fall right here at 18.
No, I like. He's the guy. He's like the X factor to me in that receiver room. I think he's got the most ability, like most overall talent. But you do have Ronnie Bell, who you know what you're going to get out of Ronnie Bell. He could be a stud. You got Cornelius Johnson, who's just been steady. Roman Wilson really came on last year, and Roman Wilson's probably the fastest guy in that room, even if he's not the best receiver overall. AJ Henning's going to get targets, you'd think, or at least have a role. So it's a deep, deep receiver room. They like Darius Clemens and Amorion Walker, even though they're maybe not ready. Clemens is physically ready, but there's just not enough targets to go around in a college offense that's going to focus on running the ball. So we'll see. I'm going to go with this is a little bit. I'm going to go with Chris Jenkins here.
Good one.
I think he's ready for a breakout. I think at times he flashed last year. His dad was a really good football player in the NFL. So I think it's time for him to really break out. He's gotten up to defensive tackle size now, finally. So he's big enough and strong enough to kind of get it done there. So I'm ready for him to have a breakout year.
All right, I'm going to take J.J. McCarthy here, man.
Yeah, I was taking him next if you didn't.
Okay, so. I was going to say, I was about to say sue me, but I think he's obviously a talented quarterback. This is, again, it's going to be the way Harbaugh's kind of operated the last several years. That was make it neck and neck. Don't let any quarterback know they've won that job until the start of the season. And I think it's Cade's job still to lose. So I think we were right to put Cade first at 13 there, but I think taking J.J. McCarthy and placing him in the top 20 is important.
Well, I think he's going to, regardless, he'll have a role. I mean, he helped them win games last year, even though he wasn't the starter. He was against Ohio State in the short period of time.
And the incredible first touchdown pass to Dalen Baldwin, right? Against Wisconsin.
He was the better quarterback in the playoff game. Let's be honest. He was just a better matchup for that Georgia defense. He played really well against Michigan State until the fumble. He helped them win that game. He helped them score 2 touchdowns in that game. So he has a role regardless, and it's just how expansive is it, one, and does Cade either play himself out of the job to the point where JJ takes it over, or is JJ just way too good and you have to play him? You have to live with the mistakes, or does he eliminate the mistakes? If he eliminates the mistakes, he can be Bryce Young, right?
That's true. Yep.
And that's I was listening to a podcast today talking about it, and they're like, look, what can take this offense? Because we've been taking mostly offensive players here. What could take this offense from maybe a top 10 offense, which they were 10th ranked S&P plus, so by the major metric last year at the end of the year, to a top 2 or 3 offense, where you're competing with Ohio State for craziness. And it's if JJ McCarthy's Bryce Young level, or even if he's throwing 35 touchdowns this year, right? They've got a chance to be special. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, 13 of the first 20 picks here have been offense. So
Yes. And I don't think that's necessarily a detriment to the defense. I just think the offense is crazy this year.
yeah.
I'll take I might go defense here though. I'm going to take Rod Moore here. Question mark. I mean, Makari Page, I think, is going to play a lot. They really like what he's done, and Rod Moore is still coming off of an injury, but he's healthy now. But I fully expect Rod Moore to be the starting safety when we get to conference play. So he really came along last year, albeit being undersized last year, definitely underweight especially. But he played great against Ohio State. Played really good at other times. Just a really smart football player, and I think he's just going to keep getting better and better. So we'll put Rod Moore there at 20, right?
21, yeah.
Yep.
21 there.
What was he last year?
That's a good question. You
Might
did
not
sneak
have
him
put
in.
it
I
on
remember
there.
you sneaking him, and I'm like,
I
wait,
snuck him in because I remember we actually did this. I'm pretty sure we did this like we had already started the season a little bit last year.
Yeah,
And
we might have, yeah.
he had played like late in the game against like Washington, and I was like, he played pretty good. And I was like,
put
I'll
him
put
at
him on the list.
31 last year.
Yeah, I was like, I think he deserves to be on the list. So
And moved up 10 whole spots on that, so that's not bad.
Yep.
I'm going to take a senior here because I think they figured out a way to use his unique position as Michael Barrett.
Okay.
We were really like wondering how much he was going to play. Barely had any snaps the first half of the season. And then they figured out how to get that Viper role that they initially recruited him for to replace Khalil Hutchinson and Jabril Peppers and take that Viper spot kind of. And I think they kind of made it work where his pass rush ability really became a nice kind of tool to have when you played a mobile quarterback.
Yep.
So I remember how effective he was when we played Indiana. And
yeah, we were watching. I remember we were watching. And I'm like, this is the most I've seen Michael Barrett play all season by far.
That's when his time kind of started taking off a little bit in that season. So I think they'll continue to try to figure out how to utilize his athletic ability. Obviously, he's also a great player for punt coverage and stuff too. And so
he's a great special teams guy.
Yeah,
he's the guy who made the pass on the backwards pass.
That's right, he did.
So he's actually completed, I think, 3 passes in his career at Michigan too. So
he's just a leader. I mean, he's stuck around this whole time with all the changes he's dealt with, and just being a senior here with all the. I think they've had 3 defensive coordinators since he's been here. So it's been nice.
Yep. No, I like that pick. I'll take Taylor Upshaw here. Still kind of waiting on a huge breakout from Taylor Upshaw, but the ability is there. We're just gonna kind of see where he's at as far as you need somebody to step up at defensive end, which, mind you, you did forget somebody at defensive end. They added a guy recently. They added Aobi Inoma, former Alabama defensive end, this last week. He transferred. Yeah, he transferred. He was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school, and he transferred in from some small school. I can't remember where it was, like UT Martin or something like that. He struggled. He got kicked. I don't know. Got kicked out of school at Alabama. That's hard to do. And then went to somewhere else, and then transferred to UT Martin eventually. But seems like he's got his life together now. Got it figured out. But he, ability wise, could be up there. But
is he eligible to play this year?
He's eligible to play this year. Yes.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. So that's just recent news, but I completely forgot about that when I was first looking at the list. But I'm not going to put him on the top 50 yet because I don't think he's his ceiling, in my opinion, is like David Ojabo. But his floor is floor is like right now, like he doesn't play this year. You know,
like Elijah Pierre. Yeah.
Yeah, and he just ain't going to play. So I'm probably not even going to take him in the top 50 until I see something out of him. But we'll take Taylor Upshaw at number 23 or 4 where we're at.
Okay, I'm going to take Trente Jones here at 24.
Yep.
And it may not even be ability wise. Obviously, he is the weak link on that offensive line. I think he's still going to be a solid tackle, but I think his ability is going to be. It's going to help him shine more with all the talent that's around him. There's not as much pressure for him to just carry it on his own. So. I think he's got a great backup, Carson Barnhart. So I think either way will be pretty set in that position.
Yeah, he was the extra offensive lineman every time they would bring, he was number 8, he didn't have a name on his back every time they brought him in, and he did well. And the The part that makes me think that he's going to be good is like Barnhart like started a handful of games, and it's Trente Jones. He's the starter at right tackle, and like even though Barnhart legitimately started games before Trente Jones, they're saying no, Trente Jones is starting right tackle, which tells me that he's very good. So, I think Roman Wilson here. This is probably the highest we've taken this many receivers in a long time at Michigan.
How many did we have at this point last year?
Yeah, I mean, I know a couple years ago, DPJ, Nico Collins, Tariq Black.
We loaded up though last year. So this is pick 25.
Mhm.
26 last year was Donovan Edwards. 27 was Dalen Baldwin. 28 was Sainer still, and 29 was Roman Wilson. So we loaded up.
Yeah.
Right for that.
Yeah, that makes sense. So Roman Wilson, he's the speedster of the group. He's really started to come on with his route running too. Had a couple touchdowns against Penn State, burned a Georgia DB, just ran right by him in the playoff game. I think I don't know. He's kind of an X factor as well. I think he's extremely fast. So it's just like, hey, how can we use this? But we kind of know what he is at this point. It's just kind of that's why I'm cool putting like Andrew Anthony above him, even though Roman Wilson definitely has been more productive thus far in his time at Michigan. Just because Anthony, he's a wild card. Like you don't know, he might bring something crazy to the table when you kind of know.
Kind of like what we thought Dalen Baldwin could have been last year at a ceiling.
Yeah, so. But Dalen Baldwin was getting some cup of coffees on the NFL too. So
yeah, he's with the Browns right now with DPJ.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah. All right, next here at 26, I'll take Nakai Hill-Green.
Yep.
Looked absolutely lost last year multiple times, but again, this is going to be, we saw Junior Colson look lost last year. I expect another year of experience, maybe comfortability, getting snaps to improve his game a little bit. So hopefully we see good things from him.
Yep. I'll take Carson Barnhart here. Was that 27?
Yep.
He's going to be their sixth offensive lineman. I expect him to play quite a bit, especially early on, just because they've got a cupcake through first 3 games. He can play all across the offensive line. Don't love him when he's out at left tackle, but I think he can certainly function pretty much anywhere on the offensive line. And I wouldn't even be, if he's better than Trente Jones at some point, that wouldn't really even surprise me just because he's got the experience. So I think they have 6 legitimate starting offensive linemen, guys who you'd feel good about starting. And he's just number 6. He just happens to be number 6.
28. I might take the same player we took 28 last year, and that's Mike Sainer still. A guy that's going to probably likely. Yeah, he's going to play both sides of the ball this year as far as we're concerned. Whether he plays corner more or wide receiver more, I think he probably plays more corner just with how
probably going to play more nickel. Yeah.
With how deep the wide receiver room is this year, but I think he's going to be I think he'd be effective at both. So
he looked good in the spring game, and from all accounts, he's a good nickel. He was recruited as a corner and a defensive back, and then they just were like they needed some help at receiver. But I think his move speaks to probably some need for some like older depth in the defensive backfield, and also how deep the receiver room is. So he was a good receiver last year. He had at times. So I mean, I like the move, and I like Sainer was still there. I think he's going to play a lot. 29.
Yes, sir.
I'll go with Jalen Harrell here. Early on in the year, I thought he was going to be really good, and then David Ojabo just kind of took that spot and just ran with it and ended up being I guess he didn't go in the first round, but would have been a probably top 15 pick if he didn't blow his Achilles out. So I just think I'm expecting big things. He's bigger than David Ojabo was. A little bit better run stopper probably already. But let's see if he can add a little bit of pass rush to his game. They really liked him a lot out of high school. When he got recruited, they were looking for like a Josh Uche type, but he's kind of bulked up a little bit more. So we'll see if he can add that pass rush to his game because they could use it. So,
So 30, we took him at 42 last year, but man, he won the Groza, and he's going to score a lot of points. I'm taking Jake Moody here at 30.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. Don't be bitter about it. He's
I'm not bitter about it. It's good. It's
okay.
Probably deserves. It's just the kicker. Yeah.
But a kicker that this is this good.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Who else we got here? We got more receivers. Go to. I'm going to take Will Johnson here.
Thank you.
He was the prize recruit last year, 5-star freshman. I think it wouldn't surprise me if he was a starting corner by the end of the year. He's that good. But if not, I think he's going to play a ton when they have 3 corners on the field. So we will go with Will Johnson there. He's the 3rd corner on the depth chart, in my opinion, right now anyway. And rising. So.
Well, we are hearing good things about Makari Page.
Yeah.
So I'm taking Makari Page here.
Yep. Yeah, 2 years ago. He was the starting safety.
Yep, and played almost nothing last year.
Yep, because he was bad, legitimately horrible at times. But it sounds like he's figured some things out.
I'm excited. Yeah, maybe that was a sophomore slump. So hopefully he's a little better here.
Yeah, I like Makari Page there. Oh man, do I stick with freshman here?
You that high on Mason Graham right now?
I am. Maybe not this high. I
thought about Mason Graham in my last one though.
Yeah. I'm going to take. Yeah, I'm going to take Mason Graham.
All right.
I think there's probably 4, 5, 6 maybe freshmen that could legitimately crack the 2 deep by the end of the year. Mason Graham is 1. Kenneth Grant is 1.
Will Johnson's got to be 1, right?
Will Johnson is certainly 1. He's already probably close to the 2 deep. Derek Moore is 1. And then
Darius Clemens, maybe?
Clemens is probably 1. Yep.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Colston Loveland.
Colston Loveland actually might play some this year. He's kind of
really
probably. I think they'll probably preserve the red shirt, but he might play a little bit. Other than that,
they got a lot of bodies in that tight end room.
Unless they want to put Alex Orji back there and just run like freaking Wildcat, I don't think anybody else is gonna go play that much. But yeah, I'll take Mason Graham here. I mean,
I'm hearing great things.
He's already defensive tackle, college defensive tackle size, which is kind of rare. And he played in the best high school football division in the country. So he played the best competition he could and played really, really well. So
not a bad spot for him, man. We took Trente Jones there last year.
Okay.
And we took DJ Turner, where I'm picking here last year,
at
34. I think I got to take AJ Henning.
Yep.
He's effective in the return game quite a bit. And I think obviously he's also a role player in the wide receiver room. So I think AJ Henning's nice. Even in like jet routes, jet sweeps, he's pretty solid. So
yeah. Yeah, no, they're going to use him a lot. I mean, they talked about early on, they were talking about like Deebo Samuel level usage.
He was the guy that I was like, I'm not mad that Giles Jackson left. We have AJ Henning.
Right. Every bit as good, if not better. So, who do I want to take here? Take Brad Robbins. Why not? I'll put the punter here.
Matt Ariza.
Arguably the best punter in the Big Ten. And he's coming back. So they got both specialists back, which was huge. So we'll take Brad here.
Pretty sure that blows all the starters now. So
for the most part, unless something weird happens.
Yeah. Let's see here. So what's going on? Oh, man, I like Davis Warren, but I don't know yet.
No, I don't think Davis is cracking my top 50. He might at the end.
I
He had a
might just
great
for the
spring game.
story. Just
He
for
had a
the
great,
story.
great spring game.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna take Kalel Mullings here.
I would take
And
him as a running back.
would you? All right.
Yes.
Do you think
I'm
he's
probably
number 3
moving
running
down the
back, or
list
is
a
it
little
still
bit.
Tavir Dunlap? I think Dunlap's number 3.
I think
I have Mullings is 4, but
Khalil Mullings, because of his size, they need that big back to replace Hassan Haskins on short yardage. I
be like
think
Davion Smith,
Yeah,
like
I mean,
Ty Isaac.
I think Khalil Mullings is actually going to get more carries than Tavir Dunlap this year. So
Right.
I
Well, I think
think
he's
the
also solid. I mean, he's
Lions,
a rotational linebacker too, so that's not
I
bad.
think the Lions' share of them are going to go. Here's the thing: Khalil Mullings went in the spring game when he was playing running back, he looked like a young running back with some ability. When he was playing linebacker, he looked horrible. So what that tells me is just be a running back, man. You look like just be a
Yeah,
running
he
back.
had flashes at linebacker. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
guess, but he's not a great linebacker. He should be a running back. He's just a bowling ball out there, which is great. That's what they need, especially to complement, Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards, who are Blake Corum's like stocky, but he's only 5'8". We need the guy with a little bit of power. So, I'm gonna take Joel Honigford here.
It's a good one. Yeah.
Third tight end. I kind of hope a guy like Matthew Hibner or Lewis Hanson kind of takes that third tight end spot. I'll be honest, but Joel Honigford is a big tight end. He's a good blocker. He's a converted offensive tackle, and he was mostly the third tight end last year, for the most part. So we'll take him there.
All right, Greg Tarr. No, I'm just kidding.
Not even starting long snap.
Will Wagner, right? Never. Oh man, that's funny. That's I really like Greg Crippen, sue me. Greg
No,
Crippen's a
backup
good guy.
center.
Yeah, I mean, he might even play guard if they need him. So
I really hope he never plays any meaningful snaps at center this year if something went wrong.
yes, but I think he's talented because when he did play last year, he seemed like he was good. So
Yeah, he was good.
I think he was actually set to start if it wasn't for Olu to come in. So it's not bad.
Probably. I'll take Braden McGregor here. Kind of waiting on a breakout from him, even though so his first season he was mostly a wash because he was coming off major knee surgery. Last year he didn't play a ton, but he's Aiden Hutchinson's size and kind of looks like him. I think that might be the ceiling there. That maybe not number 2 overall pick, but hopefully you get some pass rush out of him. We'll see if he's developed some of that and if he's fully healthy. So I do like Braden McGregor there.
Okay.
What number are we at?
We're at 40.
Okay.
So this is where Taylor Upshaw went last year. So he actually made quite the jump. I feel like I want to take a corner here, but isn't Jaden McBrose? Is he probably not playing this year because he's hurt still?
I bet he could probably play. He's playing, but I don't think he'll play much at the beginning of the year. It sounds like
I think he's like right there with like Jalen Perry talent wise.
I think McBurrow's passed all those guys by the end of the year last year, but then he blew his knee out. So I'd agree. I think Jalen Perry's probably right there.
Talent wise, though, I think because if he will play at some point this year, which I think they expect him to, I'm going to take Jaden McBurrows.
Yep, I like Jaden McBurrows a lot. I think he could be the next. He could have a trajectory like DJ Turner, where it's like, all right, is he going to be any good? And then suddenly, oh, he is really good. I will take. I'm going to go back on the freshman train here, and I'm going to take Derek Moore. They need pass rush, and he can provide it this year. So I actually think he's going to play quite a bit. Maybe not, a ton early, other than when they're blowing these teams out first 3 games. But we're going to take Derek Moore there because I think he can provide something that some of the other guys maybe can't. He's ready. He's big enough.
Yeah, I don't want this guy falling too much from last year. He went 41 last year. He's going to go 42 this year. I want to take Caden Colsar.
Okay. Special teams ace.
Yeah, I mean, and still he's probably going to be a rotational safety if anything goes wrong. So.
Yep. Yeah, I like.
I mean, he's going to be right there with Keon Sabb and Quentin Johnson, probably.
Yeah, I like Keon. I think Keon Sabb is probably way more talented physically than both those guys, but
Yeah, he's got to
but
take a little while to
yep,
develop to the speed of the game.
yep. Um, we'll take Reese Atterbury here. He's probably the next guard. The program loves him, talking highly of him. He was hurt in the spring, but sounds like he's healthy, so I would not be surprised if he plays quite a bit.
All right, give me. This is what I'll take Jalen Perry here.
Okay.
I think he's gonna play some snaps at corner. Like he's past too deep though, probably, but
Yep.
I think he's gonna be out there because they're gonna win some games. Michigan's gonna win some games by 40. So
Yep. Early, especially. Okay, I will take hmm, yeah, I'm going to take Kenneth Grant here. He's huge. He's like 347 pounds. He's gonna
someone
play.
make a report about Harbaugh didn't really give a name about who it
Yeah,
was,
he
but
said
that
he
it
was
was
a
a
gift from
freak.
the football gods.
Yeah, basically that. And people
That was
weren't sure
Kenneth
who it
Grant.
was, but a lot of people assumed Grant.
Bala said it was Kenneth Grant.
Okay.
So I think he's gonna play. He's too big not to, and he's good. So I'm pretty excited about him.
Well, if Clem Mullings isn't playing linebacker, then I sure like Joey Velasquez to play linebacker and special teams also very solid. So
Yep. And he's a good baseball player.
baseball player. He's got baseball hair.
Starting left fielder. Um, man, let's see. I feel like some of these guys. I just know one of these. We're gonna just miss somebody too that's gonna break out.
Yeah.
Usually happens. I don't know who it was last year, but um, I'll take Zeke Berry though. Zeke Berry. I know you got him at corner, but he's kind of a mixed corner safety. He looks like Jabril Peppers. He's not Jabril Peppers. I'm not saying he's Jabril Peppers, but look at it. I'm telling you, look at his tape. He looks like Jabril Peppers. So
Really?
Jabril Peppers, he's not as athletic and probably not quite as fast, but he looks like Jabril Peppers. So I think he's got a chance to be something. They're deep enough at DB this year. Like when Peppers started, he had to be the starting corner, but like they're deep enough this year where they can work him in. But he's gonna play. He's too talented.
Yikes. All right, give me Raheem Anderson here.
Yeah, he's probably the third center, and he's moving to guard too. So
yeah, I mean he's going to be right there with Reese Atterbury, Raheem Anderson. They're going to all play their second two deep backup linemen, so he'll be there.
Yep. All right, give me Darius Clemens here. Had a big spring game. If he developed, I mean, if he has a role that means either a couple people got hurt. If he has a major role, I should say, either a couple people got hurt or he's just that good. And if he's just that good, that's awesome. But I think he's going to kind of be a guy that like he might have a similar season to like Andrew Anthony last year, where it's like, whoa, he pops for a game or two, but just doesn't have the targets to maybe have the crazy stats.
Yeah, I mean, buried behind one of the best receiving groups they've had in a long time. So
yeah.
This is 50, so it's like, do we take Davis Warren here?
Do you take Davis Warren here? I don't know. I mean, if Davis Warren's playing any meaningful snaps, we got problems.
I know. I actually think, like you said, Alex Orji probably has a better chance of playing
just because of what he can do, his skill set.
But yeah, it's tough. I think I guess for me, let me see who's still available that we've ranked last year that didn't get ranked this year yet.
Sure.
So everybody that we picked that's active this year. I mean, if we go a little bit deeper to 60, is Welshoff still there?
Yep.
So he's a guy that could go.
I would take Welshoff because I think he could have a role.
And did Jordan Whitley transfer out?
Yeah, well, he graduated.
Oh, that's right. He was already old. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cam
so
Good's an option here he's a transfer in from UCF, and he had a good career at UCF, so he's an option there.
Yeah, give me Welshoff. Yeah, it's interesting though. I
thought about taking Welshoff as early as like 38. You know what I mean? I can play it, but
Yeah.
I just think there's some guys that are going to have a bigger impact than him. Not saying he won't have an impact. I just think because at times he was pretty good at last year. So
So
it's just hard up front.
who are some guys that you're spitballing just to get out of the way that would
Yeah, I mean, I think Cam Good could be a guy because he transferred in that could have a role. Let's see who else.
Carter Selzer. Are we not going to see Carter Selzer?
Carter Selzer. I just think he's just going to be too far down the depth chart. I mean, maybe we'll see him just because he's stuck around and played. But he's like fifth, I think, on the ability list or sixth.
Rayshon Benny.
Rayshon Benny could certainly play. George Rooks possibly too, but he's probably another year away.
Jadon Hood.
Jaden Hood maybe. Jimmy Rolders had a really good camp. I know he's a freshman. Miles Pollard apparently has been really good in camp. I don't think he'll play much, but he's been really good.
We're going to see Quentin Johnson?
I hope not. He was the guy, remember that fake punt?
Oh, that's right.
Fake man, and he just completely got lost. Hope not. Keon Sabb. German Green's going to be in special teams a lot, so he's going to play a lot. Jamon's brother.
Yeah. Do you think we see Hibner? Who would you take? Hibner, Hansen, or Bredesen or Loveland?
I mean, I hope Hibner's ready. I hope he's above Carter Selzer. That's the thing. Hibner and Hansen, I hope. There's a few other guys. I mean, Christian Dixon could play a little bit. Morion Walker, they think could be a freak eventually. So I think some guys could play. I mean, Davis Warren's an option there. I mean, but who apparently he and Alan Bowman are actually going neck and neck for the third string. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, it could be all over. I mean, TJ Guy even made an impact in his limited snaps last year. I actually don't hate a lot of our depth either. So,
yep, no, it's a deep team. Could be the best offense we've had in a very long time, depending on what happens. I don't know. The defense has question marks, but I like the depth on the defense. I think there's a lot of guys there. It's just whether anybody kind of takes that next step. Like, do we have a guy make the step like David Ojabo? Where did we rank David Ojabo last year?
19.
Yeah, dude, he would have been like fourth.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I mean, he was a top 15 pick before he blew his Achilles out. So there's some guy. I mean, if somebody can make that kind of jump, then we could have some. It could be a pretty special year. So it should be a fun team.